Is there any particular song of yours now that expresses your philosophy these days, or can you point to anything in particular, or maybe even do some lyrics for us that would?
You mean you want me to recite?
Sure. It's so.
Well, let's see. What could I possibly recite to you that will?
Dancing Fool.
Oh, that's a safe one. Yeah. I don't know much about dancing. That's why I got this song. One of my legs is shorter than the other, and both of my feet's too long. Of course, now, right along with them, I got no natural rhythm, but I go dancing every night, hoping everything will be all right, 'cause I'm a dancing fool, etc.
Now that sounds fairly harmless, and yet some of your stuff could not be done even if the microphones weren't on and the cameras weren't.
Well, you have to understand the reason why. It's not my fault, you know, because the problem with lyrics stems from a primitive belief in this country that there are certain words in our language that will corrupt you instantaneously the moment they are uttered into the atmosphere.
Something awful will happen.
Yeah, I mean, come on, let's be reasonable about this. I mean, that's like animism, you know? I mean, it's so stupid that an idea like that persists in an industrial society, you know? And because of these attitudes, and because people have spent money to build agencies to make sure that there's this whole hierarchy of people waiting for these magic words to occur in the airwaves. And they're just, you know, they're hovering. You can't see them, but they're all around here, you know. They've got snipers up in all these things up here that shoot a mask over your mouth if you don't say anything. They have them in radio stations. They have them in all television stations. They have them everywhere. And even at news...
Are you ready? He's about to say something awful.
No, I don't need to say it, because the fact of the matter is that everybody already knows what I'm talking about. So if they know what I'm talking about, why can't I say it?
That's right. You know? Because now you've induced them in their mind and made them think.
Yeah, I'm making you think dirty.
quite a feat, actually.
Making them think at all is a really rough one, but you know, you start them off by thinking dirty, and then you know. And they get that sensation.
Well, I hope you're proud of yourself. You should have your mind washed out with a bar of soap. Let's confront the Jewish princess problem.
Right ahead.
This is a record that I think I have some of the lyrics. It was a little hard to find which ones to select. That won't get the whole problem started up again. But I think people might get the idea that from the first, I think the first four lines are, I want a nasty little Jewish princess with long phony nails and a hair rinses, a horny little Jewish princess with a garlic aroma that could level Tacoma. And then there's
the rest of it?
There's a great deal more here, but perhaps even holding it up. We'll keep it moving.
Just wave it like that. You know?
All right.
While the ADL incenses itself.
But the ADL, or Anti-Defamation League, came down on you, I believe.
I was their meat for one season. Yeah. Let me put it to you succinctly. I think that any ethnic group that maintains a public relations agency like the ADL, whose job it is to manufacture a uniform image of the whole ethnic group, I mean, that's crazy. You can't expect that people are going to buy that. You can't just swave over the image of the whole ethnic group.
So, it probably doesn't come as a surprise to you that some people were offended by that, because there are such organizations. Is that?
Well, I think that particular.
Taught to be offended by.
That particular organization is probably one of the most vocal organizations of any ethnic PR group that's around. You know, but I just thought that it was uncalled for in my case.
Yeah. Do you run into that thing where people say, I'm a Catholic, so I can tell a Catholic joke, and is Zappa Jewish? If he were, then it would be better?
Well, that's what I thought when they first started complaining about it. But then I heard from some people who had other experiences with the ADL that they don't care. You know, apparently they pick on Jews, too.
How so?
I'd heard from a man who used to be the program director at KCET in Los Angeles, the educational station out there. And he had had many confrontations with the ADL. And he knew of some instances where plays and things that they had run on the air there that had some Jewish content that didn't meet with the approval of the ADL, that the lady who wrote the play was having a lot of trouble with the ADL. So that's what I mean about trying to homogenize the image of an entire ethnic group. I mean, they're all different kinds of Jews. Same as there is all different kinds of anything, you know. And to just hold up this, you know, what it reminds me of is when you, a long time ago, you used to be able to go to the boardwalk, you know, and they got these flat things with people painted on them, and you stick your head through.
You could throw baseballs at them or have your picture taken.
Yeah, have your picture taken as somebody in an ideal bathing suit, or, you know, the muscle man pose. I mean, that's that to me is what it seems like that they're trying to do.
Yeah, all organizations like that seem to have the assumption that they're reacting for everybody named in the title.
Yeah.
And if I were a member of that group, I would say, well, you didn't ask me. I may or may not be offended, but...
Well, I've had a lot of phone calls and letters and support from people who were, in fact, Jewish.